common sense to me. I don't know. But if I want to spend $1 on a cookie, I want to know why. Do I have to be discriminated against because of the way I look?
Were you warned at any time to stop the party by the police?
Previous to this?
Yes.
No.
I'm not sure what the protocol is, Inspector Quinn, but evidently the police received complaints that there was a party going on at 11 o'clock at night. There was music going on. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. Get back over there.
I'm not down here that much, and I let it go.
Well, there's not much wiggle room for you here. You came in, you paid the $300, you said, forget those guys, I'm from Massachusetts. Well, you're not skating free. How do you feel about this, Inspector Quinn?
Same way, Your Honor. I mean,
I'm usually very understanding. I understand. Hardship, I understand. Hardship, I really understand. Your problem is that your car is now towed, which means you're paying storage fees every day.
When I get finished with you, Judge, I will put you where you're supposed to be, in jail.
I told Sergeant Sarandia that you would take joy in killing him and that you would take great joy in killing me.
Most people come to court with the hope of winning Judge Frank's heart, but this woman entered the room with more of an attitude than a request for mercy.
You have 2 tickets.
No, I got 1 ticket.
No, you have 2. Then you have another one on August 1st.
No.
I have this. This is on June 3rd. You have a second one on July 21st. You parked in downtown Providence on Darren Street.
Her facial expressions and mannerisms seemed like she was either scared or nervous. Judge Frank stated that the one on Darwin Street was on a Honda, which was parked in downtown Providence. With a bewildered expression on her face, she explained that she never received a ticket from there.
Well, who else drives the car besides you?
I'm the only person that drives the car.
You're the only person that drives it?
Yeah. Downtown Providence?
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Do you know where the courthouse is? Were you there?
I went to the child support area.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was...
How did I know this stuff?
I only went to go pick up phone and someone was in the car. They never issued me ticket.
Looks like we're heading somewhere. He asked her if she knew the courthouse, and she replied that she did. He's trying to trap her, and she's falling for it. If she was in the area, then the possibility of her getting a ticket there is pretty high. She insisted that she was never issued a ticket. Do you think she's telling the truth?
Oh, God.
Anyway. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. Get back over there. Don't give me an attitude.
Oh, my
But the
God.
last thing in the world I need is an attitude. I helped you out, okay? You had 2 $30 tickets. It was $150.
Judge Frank was pretty angry he couldn't just let her go without saying his piece. He called her back, told her she has a bad attitude, and also made it clear to her that he had helped her. She had 2 $30 tickets, and they tripled to $150. He reduced the tickets, which were originally $20 each, and charged her $40.
Then you give me an attitude on the way out by raising your eyebrows and giving me a dirty look.
No.
Change your attitude, okay?
All right, I'm sorry.
all right.
But the reason why I raised my eyebrow, not raise my eyebrow.
It's understandable that she feels that way, considering she didn't know how she was going to get the money to pay for the tickets. We all have different ways we deal with situations, and raising her eyebrows was how she could deal with the situation she was in.
We're going to put you on a payment plan. Okay. So you can pay as little as you can afford. Okay, good luck.
Do you think Judge Frank's judgment was fair? Should she have owned up to her mistakes? A motorist pays the price for not living up to his original agreement with Judge Caprio. He was previously in court and he had 29 parking tickets. His previous judgment was $1,090 and he paid $300. The boot was also released and he promised to pay $100 every month on the balance.
And you never paid not 1 penny. Not 1 penny. You changed your registration. So you got a different registration, and now you have 8 parking tickets.
Well, I've been out of work the last 6 months.
Well, we haven't changed our phone number.
I agree.
These other tickets go back 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. So you didn't pay anything. Now you got 8 new tickets on the new registration.
I'm pretty sure he thought that was a smart move. In his defense, he's been out of work for the past 6 months, but that excuse didn't fly, as the tickets go way back as far as 8 years ago.
I'm not down here that much, and I let it go.
Well, there's not much wiggle room for you here. You came in, you paid the $300, you said, forget those guys, I'm from Massachusetts. Well, you're not skating free. How do you feel about this, Inspector Quinn?
same way, Your Honor. I mean,
I'm usually very understanding. I understand. Hardship, I understand. Hardship, I really understand. Your problem is that your car is now towed, which means you're paying storage fees every day.
It was wrong for him not to have even attempted to make the payments, but would it have been best to call and inform the court? What do you think? Either way, he still has a different problem because his car has now been towed and he has to pay storage fees costing $30 a day coupled with a boot fee.
What about the interest? Can you do anything with that? There's a lot of interest on them.
That's not the question. The question is whether I will. It's a $100 boot fee. On the new tickets, it's $160 on the previous tickets.
Well, that's a valid point. It's a $100 boot fee. On the new tickets is $160, which makes it $260. He has a balance of $790 on the previous tickets, so it's back to $1,050.
So it's back to $1,050. How much of that can you pay today?
500,
I'm going to accept the 500.
75 a month.
Okay, I'm going to make it 50 a month. If you don't pay it and you ever come back again, all the penalties that I waived, I'll put back on.
Trust Judge Frank to be the compassionate man that he is. He reduced it to a 50 so he'd be able to pay it. The judge made it clear to Mr. Morton that if he refuses to pay and he comes back to court again, he won't be waiving anything, and all the penalties that were waived would just be put back on.
You know, I really don't want to persecute you,
Thank you.
right? But I don't want you to insult the court either, okay? Good luck.
Thank you, Judge.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Mr. Morton thought he could be smart, but that didn't go as planned. There are a couple of things that should not be done in a courtroom, but one of the most important things is to not disrespect the judge.
Some long distance phone calls now. I haven't had my phone call yet.
Oh, well,
You know what I mean?
give a long-distance call.
Yeah. Now, can I go?
Stay right there. You go to the ACI for 10 days. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
It's yes, sir.
May I go, Your Honor?
It's yes, sir.
May I go, Your Honor?
No.
He asked the judge again if he could go again, but the judge corrected him again, telling him to reply saying yes, sir, and not yeah. But he wasn't going to budge. Judge Frank asked a sergeant to keep him and bring him back to court in 10 days for a review.
We'll see you again in 10 days. What did you say, Sergeant?
I got lawyers, Your Honor.
You just said to me,
Whatever you want to do, Your Honor, do it. That don't have nothing to do with that.
Did he just threaten the judge? That was quite an audacity. How can you outrightly say that in a courtroom? People need to understand that a courtroom is not a place to prove how stubborn you are or how much of a disrespectful person you are. I mean, you can barely win except if the judge is clearly being unjust.
That's what you call double jeopardy. Look at my whole record. I'm going to make this phone call and have you indicted for double jeopardy, for disorderly conduct. Previous case. You are guilty of double jeopardy.
Sergeant Sarandia, this young man indicated to me that when he finished with me, I would be sorry. I take that as a threat.
I'm definitely as shocked as you are. That escalated very fast. The fact that he thinks he can school the court is just ridiculous. I'd scream if he says double jeopardy one more time. Judge Frank requested that the appropriate charge be leveled against him for threatening a judge.
You want to rearrest me? You can do that. Whatever you want to do that. Double jeopardy. No, I'm not no ignorant person. That ain't my case. July the 8th, 1999. Disorderly conduct. Ain't none of that long. When I get finished with you, Judge, I will put you where you're supposed to be in jail. Come on, rearrest me now. That's double jeopardy, and that's all allowed.
There are other ways to clear your name, and shouting about it isn't one of them. Whether or not he was guilty of the previous charge, Judge Frank was probably going to help him out, but with all that just happened, I doubt that's even possible.
I was arrested for one thing and one thing only. All right?
I want him charged with contempt of court and get him out of here.
Yeah, come on with it. Whatever you want to do, do it. You punks. You punks in Rhode Island. Punk.
Now we'll get to the serious matters.
My, oh my, that could have gone better. After completing his days of incarceration at the Adult Correctional Institution, Mr. Baldwin is back in court. He was brought back on the 19th of July for his case to be heard, but he was not represented by a counsel. The judge stated that he was going to be given the opportunity to have a counsel when the case continues.
I told Sergeant Sarandia that you would take joy in killing him and that you would take great joy in killing me. And charges were brought against you for threatening a public official. I have in my possession your record, which is extensive. I take very seriously, and accordingly that matter is being processed through the Superior Court.
I wasn't expecting him to be this calm. It appears that the 10 days wasn't enough reprimanding. He still had the guts to threaten a public official. Judge Frank stated that the case isn't before the court anymore, but the Superior Court. Well, that was needed.
You are here today on the contempt of court citation. How do you plead at this juncture to the contempt of court citation?
No
contendere.
No contendere, I will get credit for time served.
Is there anything else you want to say to the court?
That's all.
By pleading nolo contendere, that means that you admit all of the essential elements.
The case would be over.
He told the court that he was told by an official that if he pleaded nolo contendere, which means I do not contest, he'll get credit for time served and the case would be over. By pleading nolo contendere, meaning he admits all of the essential elements of the offence.
The matter of contempt of court may be disposed of today on your nolo plea.
It would be over with today.
What the situation is. You have, as you stand before me right now, you have two charges.
No collendo to the contempt of court.
I want you to listen to me for a minute. You have two charges threatening a public official.
Yes.
This court only has jurisdiction.
I was pretty surprised he was pleading nolo. I just knew there was a motive behind it. I mean, I thought he had lawyers. What happened to them? Judge Frank explained what exactly the situation was. He had two charges which were pending, and the court only has jurisdiction over one, which is the contempt of court, which the judge ordered to be brought against him.
So you can dispose of the contempt of court matter before this court today. Do you desire to apologize to the court?
I apologize, Your Honor.
The defendant has been incarcerated for a period of 21 days. Accordingly, the contempt of court matter is hereby disposed of for time served to be held on the charge of threatening a public official.
He apologized to the court, and the contempt of court matter was disposed of for time served. He was also given 21 days to be remanded back to the adult correctional institution to be held on the charge of threatening a public official.
And, Your Honor, is that the last of my charges?
To my knowledge.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Are you hurting this morning, Mr. Powell?
I've been walking.
Speak into the mic, please.
Now, I'm downtown, I'm at Haven Brothers, and I want a cookie, and I buy a cookie. And then I go to Haven Brothers, and I don't know
Mr.
why,
Powell,
but I'm
Mr.
hungry.
Powell, before you say anything, you're charged with disorderly conduct. It's punishable by a maximum fine of $500. You have certain rights,
Oh, wow.
but I want you to listen to what I'm about to say to you. How do you plead to the charge?
I absolutely plead not guilty, but I have a question. Now, if I believe that Jesus can buy me anything and I have $1, why would I need to spend it? I don't know why it's right, but it's what I dream. It's common sense to me. I don't know. But if I want to spend $1 on a cookie, I want to know why. Do I have to be discriminated against because of the way I look? You know why? Because I believe in God. That's my belief.
Mr. Powell,
It's just a notion.
why don't we talk about the matter at hand?
Okay.
Upon arrival, police identified you, that you were in the store and you were not making any purchases, and that you were yelling at customers. This time, an employee called the police. It should be noted that police were dispatched to the above location twice.
In 7-Eleven, talking about God, smiling, laughing. Why do I have to believe in a lie? If you're running away from, what the truth is, that you never did anything wrong, is that wrong?
Mr. Powell, that you have a presumption of innocence.
Exactly.
So as you stand before me, you are presumed to be innocent. Okay. So again, I'll ask you, based on the explanation, I find that you understand. At any rate, how do you plead to the charge?
Not guilty.
All right, that means you're going to come back and have a trial.
I just actually really want to be released into society so I can learn more.
What that means is, number one, that you will be back here on April 2nd, then you will run the risk of being violated and sent to the ACI. You have a history of not appearing in court.
Yes, I do.
If you're not here...
I will owe $500 to the state, and if that does happen, then why?
No, sir, grab your stuff, go ahead, it's not for trial.
This is loud music at a party, so...
Based on the report, there was probably 40 subjects at the house. There was loud music. And also, Your Honor, the next day at about 12:30 p.m., they put an orange sticker on the house as a nuisance.
Were you warned at any time to stop the party by the police?
Previous to this?
Yes.
No.
I'm not sure what the protocol is, Inspector Quinn, but evidently the police received complaints that there was a party going on at 11 o'clock at night. There was music going on. The usual protocol is that what they do is they go and they warn them and say, listen, you're having a loud party, turn it off, and we went and gave them a ticket. How long have you lived there?
I don't actually live at that house.
Well, then why did you get the ticket?
Because I was the only one who would talk to the police.
You don't live at the residence?
I could give you my lease. I live on Pinehurst.
What are you studying?
Psychology.
I got it. Yeah. I'm not going to hold Kyle responsible about whether or not they asked who was in charge, so I'm not going to hold you responsible for this. Matter's dismissed.